In the wild, survival almost always depends on knowing when to appear and, more importantly, when to disappear, using camouflage to remain unseen. But some Pokémon are born with a difference they cannot hide. An extremely rare alteration changes the color of their bodies. The same shiny Pokémon may display one particular shade in a certain region, while revealing slightly different tones in other territories or periods. For a trainer, it is the encounter of a lifetime. For the Pokémon, it can be a signal visible from miles away, and that often means being captured. In the forest, rarity is not always an advantage. Rarity does not automatically make them stronger. It does not prepare them for pursuit. It simply causes them to be recognized before they can even be understood. And the moment someone realizes what they are looking at, observation almost always turns into a search. While trainers pursue them for their rarity, shiny Pokémon in the wild may also become constant targets for both predators and humans. It is not the reflection of the sunrise. It is not blood. The scales are red. A shiny Gyarados always draws attention. A Golden Magikarp that manages to survive long enough to grow stronger and evolve is already an extraordinarily rare occurrence. After evolving, its new coloration immediately attracts everyone nearby. Gyarados knows it will be watched. Even so, it does not hesitate to reveal itself. Within its habitat, it is relentless. In this river, it knows every current and every danger. Its scarred body suggests that life as a Magikarp was anything but easy. Boats change course. Nearby villages mobilize. Pokeballs and cameras are prepared. A Magikarp that may have spent years avoiding all contact suddenly becomes the center of a pursuit. But Gyarados does not interpret their approach as admiration. Every light directed into its eyes increases its agitation. Pokédex records describe a creature whose rage can continue until everything around it has been destroyed. But in the distance, another shiny Pokémon begins to reveal itself, almost completely buried among the roots. If Gyarados chooses to stand out and display its power, Oddish survives by staying hidden for as long as possible. Whenever it decides to move, it knows its coloration draws far too much attention. So at the slightest sound in the forest, it has to hide. When the light disappears, its behavior changes. Oddish loosens its roots, lifts its small body from the soil, and begins its nightly journey. That is when the difference becomes visible. Instead of the usual dark blue, its body is light green. Without its normal blue coloration, Oddish becomes far easier to spot. There is not enough strength to drive away a group of hunters. There are no wings to escape with. There is only a small creature walking through the dark, trying to reach another patch of soil before sunrise. And Oddish is not the only fearful creature in the forest. Many times, the woods conceal other Pokémon that also know they cannot defend themselves alone. It is not another Oddish. It is a Pokémon that survives by erasing its own appearance. Between one transformation and the next, its original form reveals an unmistakable shade of blue. Ditto knows it cannot remain like this for long, because its coloration would attract far too much attention. This is the true appearance of a shiny Ditto. Small, simple, and instantly recognizable. But Ditto possesses a defense that almost no other rare Pokémon can reproduce. It can stop looking rare. When it encounters another living being, Ditto reorganizes its own cellular structure. Its body loses its shape, its face disappears, and in their place, a copy of the target emerges. To cross an occupied area, Ditto does not need to run. It only needs to choose an identity no one is searching for. The result is a paradox. One of the most recognizable shiny Pokémon can spend nearly its entire life without revealing its true coloration. The transformation, however, is not perfect under every circumstance. Ditto is highly sought after by powerful trainers. Its ability allows it to assume almost any form, assist in a wide range of captures, but Ditto is not only searching for somewhere to hide. It seeks understanding, affection, and the chance to exist without being exploited as a tool. Still, not every rare Pokémon spends its life running from those who try to find it. Some do not need to erase their identity. Some choose to trust. And few Pokémon understand emotion as deeply as Gardevoir. Whether normally colored or shiny, Gardevoir does not simply form a partnership with its trainer. It chooses to build a bond that, once formed, becomes almost impossible to break. From the moment it accepts a trainer, Gardevoir may remain by her side for the rest of their lives. Throughout the journey, it becomes a guide, a guardian, and a companion. Remain faithful to your Gardevoir, and you will have a partner capable of caring for you when you need it most. Thanks to its ability to foresee the future, Gardevoir detects dangers that others cannot even perceive. It can guide its companion along paths no one else would recognize. But the bond between Gardevoir and its trainer extends far beyond its shiny coloration. Gardevoir does not care about its own rarity. All it wants is to live beside the person it has chosen to trust. And then there are shiny Pokémon, whose existence can be traced back centuries. Creatures that wielded immense power long before any modern trainer could even imagine finding them. Explorers try every possible way to locate an Aegislash. Even so, it does not allow itself to be captured by just anyone. Only someone truly strong may be accepted. Before testing a trainer, Aegislash watches. A shiny Aegislash does not resemble a collector's item. It looks like the weapon once used to conquer all the others. Aegislash shifts between two forms. With its shield forward, it absorbs the attack and observes. When it finds an opening, it reveals the blade. Defense and offense are not merely battle stances. They are stages in a calculated decision. Pokédex records describe Aegislash using spectral powers to manipulate both people and Pokémon, guiding them into the construction of kingdoms shaped by its own will. But most are not searching for display cases, nor for admiration. They are searching for a companion with whom they can share the battlefield. Shield and sword, guardian and weapon. But not every rare Pokémon seeks to rule, to fight, or to be revered. Some shiny Pokémon allow themselves to be seen only when the choice is entirely their own. That seems to be the case with Mew. A scientist may spend an entire lifetime searching for it, while Mew leaves behind only subtle traces of its presence. If Mew carries within its DNA the foundation of every Pokémon, then its rarest form is almost an origin within the origin itself. But Mew is not found. Mew chooses. And when it decides to reveal itself in its shiny form, it almost always does so before someone who does not immediately try to possess it. Perhaps to share knowledge with humanity. Among legendary creatures, every shiny form represents an occurrence whose rarity is almost impossible to measure. Ho-Oh can be seen from miles away because of its coloration. But do not be mistaken. Despite its extraordinary power, Ho-Oh only allows itself to be seen when it chooses. Its feathers reflect different golden shades depending on the angle of its flight. When someone attempts to approach, Ho-Oh remains within reach, without attacking, but also without showing any intention of being captured. The legend never promised happiness to those who pursued the bird. Ho-Oh is known to reveal itself before trainers with pure hearts. That, however, does not mean it will agree to belong to them. Even so, the trainer remains grateful, because they have just witnessed something that may never happen again. Perhaps the greatest rarity is not found in color alone. Perhaps it exists in the brief moment when a creature allows itself to be seen, and in the human choice not to turn that encounter into a pursuit. Did you enjoy this episode? Tell us in the comments which Pokémon you would like to see in the next video.